Let's talk about nerves at 400, it's supposed to be 434 megahertz, but oh well, we'll deal with it. So I tend to just over-engineer problems. We recently had this old 1980s ceiling fan that broke down, and we needed to get a new one. And because it's 2019, I thought it'd be fun to have one with a remote. So we ended up with a fan like this, and it was because what's better than being able to lazily control the smallest item, one of the smallest items in your house? Feels great. Oh, it's behind. Oh well. But if you actually look really closely at these, you'll discover that they are not happy beings and they do not want to coexist with you. In fact, they're quite mischievous. The remote's always lost. Somebody puts it somewhere. And this is extremely problematic because the state is controlled at the fan. So flipping the light on and off, taking power on and off, makes no change to whatever the last state of the fan was, which means you always figure out the remote's lost at midnight when it's dark. It's no bueno. So then I got to thinking, like I always do, there's got to be a way I can spend way too much time on solving this problem that really isn't an issue. And the answer is radio. So it turns out that these devices actually, in a lot of times in your house, communicate with the radio. So in my case, the fan did, and that works great. Because when you have radio like this, you do what's called a replay attack. Now this sounds pretty bad, it's, the word attack, but what it basically means is that you can listen on a radio frequency, copy it, and then transmit it and replay it out later. Now, I don't recommend going out and scanning your neighbors and stuff and copying signals, but for my ceiling fan, totally fine. I can figure it out. So you can put, there's one extra piece of hardware for this, and that's these, there's lots of different hardware, but I went with this SDR, this RTL SDR, software-defined radio dongle, and you can essentially listen in and record that signal to a file. But the cool thing is that you can actually use a Raspberry Pi running nerves on a single GPIO pin to then replay that file back. Oh, I thought I had something else. So that's what we're going to use nerves for. And I got a little demo. And if you can see, I just have one jumper wire cable on here. It's about the length I need for 430 megahertz. So let's try this. I'm still connected. Okay, so radio.lights on 2. So there's a few lights at other tables, and I've got this light up here, and I'm going to hit this to transmit a previously recorded signal and see if they turn on. Ta-da! Live demos are scary. So let's turn them off now. Wrong. Ta-da. So that's basically it. There's a lot more going into this. It's pretty cool. I actually wrote this all up in more detail if you want to try to go through it, learn some basics, and put it on embeddedElixir.com. We just published it like an hour ago. And I made a library specifically to handle this binary, to be able to use the GPIO pin to transmit on the wire at jjcarson/replex. That's also published to Hex. It's very niche, but if you have lots of devices, ceiling fan is one case, but light bulbs use it. A lot of plugs use it. I mean, they're everywhere. So it could be pretty cool, pretty fun. And, oh, this is old. That's it. Here's some contact info.